patriarchy. Smash the patriarchy. Men are not better than women. Fuck that sexist malarkey. Men and women are equal. Listen up, Sparky. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy. Men are not better than women at anything. Everybody be a feminist and let me hear you sing. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy. For a long time, men have been running the show. They make all the big decisions and hold most of the dough. We would all be better off if we embrace diversity. The time has come for us to smash the patriarchy. Men are not better than women. Fuck that sexist malarkey. Men and women are equal. Listen up, Sparky. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy. Men are not better than women at anything. Everybody be a feminist and let me hear you sing. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy. We'll all be better off when we smash the patriarchy. We'll all be better off when we embrace equality. We need a world where everybody's voices are heard. Diversity makes us smarter. Spread the F word. Men are not better than women. Fuck that sexist malarkey. Men and women are equal. Listen up, Sparky. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy. Men are not better than women at anything. Everybody be a feminist and let me hear you sing. It is time to smash. It is time to smash the patriarchy.
Hey everybody. I don't know. I didn't want to watch another alien video, you know what I mean? The alien videos are good, but they get rough after a while. So I had to go sniffing around. YouTube used to have so much fucking subliminal, like decent subliminal shit, but it's all gone now. And I don't know if this is good. I had to look on Vimeo. But we're gonna find out together, guys. Hanford! Hanford, you lost shit! Hanford! Get the lights, Hanford! Hanford, simmer down. Thank you, Hanford. All right, guys. He sounds like Tucker Carlson, too. It's weird.
Glad you're with me today. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like people are giving you hidden persuaders in advertising? Do you know that? There's a lot of people who feel that the ads that you're watching...
All right, hold on, little fella. You are a little too quiet. Let me turn this shithead up a little bit. Jerk, be louder. We're beyond that one, Hanford. Oh, I gotta full screen it again. Oh, man, because now it messes everything up. Hanford, I need better assistance. You get on it. All right, here we go.
Are very sexually oriented, are very death oriented.
Oh, we're going to see some peckers?
So they can get you to buy their product. We're going to explore this whole phenomenon today and see how much legitimacy is in this thing, or are they just a bunch of crackpots?
It looks like a man.
So please stay there.
Look at that cool dude. Whoa, cool dude. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, well, Hanford, that's 10 demerits. Yeah. Let's get down, guys. Yeah, Hanford, where's my broccoli? Where's my microwave broccoli, Hanford? Richard Hogue. Hey, it's the Hogue.
Glad you're with me today. I want you to meet Dr. Wilson Brian Key. He's the author of several books.
Oh,
in
shit,
these
guys.
books, he makes tremendous allegations that the advertising companies of America and advertisers are really trying to put a trip on you. Did you know that?
They're trying to show us peckers.
Selling you sex and death and all sorts of things instead of just selling you their product. They're trying to get you to buy in a very sneaky way. Am I right about that?
You are very right about that. I think Dr. Marshall McLuhan, the late Dr. McLuhan, put it very well one night. He said that advertising, the $50 billion worth of advertising, for example, we perceived last year, is actually our culture
That's
machine.
a bad dude.
It's extremely important. It tells us who we are, where we're going,
true.
what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, what's moral, what's immoral. It is the thing that, and when the culture, of course, no longer sells, it's no longer a viable marketing device, it's obsoleted, and we get new. And
got
this
examples,
can,
guys.
and I believe, has, over the past several decades, had a very serious effect upon the society. As a source for violence, we merchandise violence because it's a very marketable commodity.
Dude, violence is awesome.
We use various kinds of obscenities, which we're going to demonstrate here in a moment, in advertising as a device for selling. And I have no quarrel with selling. But there's a large body of experimental research that's been published around the universities that shows this kind of subliminal material,
All right, let's get to it.
such as used in advertising and in motion pictures and videotape,
You play the
has
trumpet?
the potential of changing our lives.
When you talk about subliminal material now, tell me exactly what you're talking about. You're,
Okay,
you're saying that in the heart of the ad, there are hidden persuaders, I guess is what you're actually
That's
saying, right?
that's a term
Is it like the old thing we heard
developed,
about, you know, where you'd go to the drive-in and they would run a deal of popcorn or a Coca-Cola every
That
so
was
many
a
frames?
device that was patented by Dr. Hal Becker at Tulane Medical School about 1962. He holds a number of patents on subliminal induction devices. These
Two
are
dangerous
equipments,
dudes.
such as a high-speed projector that will put things into your brain without your conscious awareness that there's anything going on. That tachistoscope now is useful as a research tool, but for practical applications, there are easier ways to do it and ways in which you would be less likely to be discovered. Let me give you an example
Okay,
here.
I wanna
We're
see
going
this.
to look at an ad. This particular ad came out of Time magazine,
All right,
July
here we go,
18,
guys.
1977. And during July, August, and September, there was over $1.5
I
million
bet you there's a pecker on there somewhere.
spent buying space for this picture in national publications. Now, what you're looking at is not an emerald, this is not gin, and this is not a glass. It's a painting, an airbrush painting, a very sophisticated one. Now, some other curious things, when you notice, you think of the gin streaming down and hitting the emerald and splashing off into the glass. Think just the opposite of what they
Get
want
your
you
fucking emeralds out of my booze, dude. I'm gonna choke.
to believe. And think of that stream of gin as growing out of the emerald to about right there. If you can get the camera in tight, I think you can see what I'm talking about.
Right,
It's quite graphic, and it's also quite anatomically
It's supposed
correct.
to- it's a wiener?
Checked most of these with textbooks on genital anatomy. And you see what this clever artist has put into this stream of gin. Now, the ironic thing,
It's a wiener.
perhaps, I'm sure this sells Tanqueray gin extremely well, but the curious thing is, of course, alcohol is the greatest enemy of sex man has yet to invent for himself. Drink enough of it and you're completely out of the picture, so to speak.
Are you saying
Whiskey
that this
pecker.
is actually a picture of a male genital? Is that what you're
This
saying?
is
here?
a painting which someone was paid
It's
over
a large
$20,000 to do. We have half a dozen artists we work with who do this kind of thing. And we tried to estimate man hours involved in painting something like this. Because remember, this is an art of hiding something, not of exposing something. And one slip of the brush, the artist is in a great deal of trouble.
Dr. Key, are
so I
you
can say you can, if you want to get the
Yeah, I
camera
mean,
back,
that looked like a bent pecker. It looked like a painful pecker.
on here, you can see exactly what they've done and how they've done it. Now-
Are you saying that this was purposely done,
Oh,
that
it
they
was
knew
indeed.
exactly
Yes.
what they
Yes.
were doing, and that...
When you're going to spend several $1 million on an ad such as this, you can't fool around with it. That's a lot of money. No corporation can afford to invest money like that in an ad that doesn't
It's
work.
a male genital.
Saying that you're right, that this is indeed a totally manipulated tool, how will that help to sell what they're trying to sell?
Okay, the closest thing we've been able to compare this with over the past 10 years, it's very comparable to post-hypnotic suggestion.
Hey,
we've known for
you want a big boner too, don't you? Buy this stupid booze.
long, long time that the human brain perceives enormous, prodigious quantities of information, most of which never surfaces at a cognitive or conscious level. Some writers have speculated as little as 1/1000th of a percent, if you could stop one at a point in time. As little as 1/1000th of that would be cognitive, would be conscious, what you're aware of. Now, the other stuff is in your brain. and most of it's probably dumped. There's a Montreal neurosurgeon, Wilder Penfield, who believed he was first one to demonstrate during brain surgery this capacity of the brain to retain
I hope that's not the only
enormous amounts of
example. That
information,
would really suck.
which the patient has no awareness of. Penfield believed that every perception since birth is recorded permanently in the brain. Now, it's an interesting theory, and it is defensible, but it is a theory. We really don't know. But certainly anything as highly dramatic or as potentially traumatic as an erect male genital in an alcohol ad is going to be remembered a very, very long time.
Just say
Not at a
pecker.
cognitive level.
I could, yeah, well, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I would have looked at that ad for all night, I suppose,
We're not
and never
supposed to see
seen
this.
that.
Yeah. You see, when you get into this study, the first thing, you want to believe that these ad people are so clever.
These guys talk
devious
fast.
little rascals, and they hide this stuff from us. That's not true. There's nothing hidden there, except what you have elected at some unconscious level to hide from yourself. Once I show you what's in that
Seems
stream of gin,
crazy.
it's very apparent. There's nothing hidden there.
So-
In the
show me-
vernacular around the universities, the kids would say it's all hanging out.
All right.
All you have to do is know how to find it at a conscious level. But perception is a phenomenon that's instantaneous and it's total. As I said, we perceive prodigious quantities of information of which we never have any conscious awareness. This can be demonstrated
Are you
through
sure? Are you sure though that you? Good.
Yeah.
using narcosynthesis, sodium amythol, sodium pentothal. You can demonstrate this
More
with
tits,
hypnosis.
please.
In fact, we used hypnosis a great deal
To
as a
find some
research
of these
technique.
things?
Oh, yes.
They're very
yes.
smart, Mole Man.
Are you sure though that you're not just so superly tuned in and aware of this stuff that you're
Basically, what he's trying to say, Tucker Carlson is trying to say is, hey, dude, are you sure you're just not a little light in the loafers? Maybe you just really like peckers.
seeing stuff that isn't really there? I mean, couldn't you take any picture in the
It would
world?
be very
I'm
unlikely
sure we could go
after
back
10
here and look
years,
at the.
and my books are used as textbooks in universities all over the world. The Spanish edition of
That's a nice way of saying, hey, I'm smart, shut up, douche.
Subliminal Seduction just went into 5th printing.
Yeah, it does sell 5,000 a month. I
Denny
understand.
gas.
It's just-
Booby
They've done
meat.
extremely well.
Yeah.
And mostly around the university, strangely.
Booby
where
meat.
people are not as rigid in the perceptual frames as older people.
What do you say to people who say you're just a dirty old man and you have these thoughts and that's why you're seeing all this stuff?
Well, most people
Well, last person who said that, I punched him in the mouth. Just to start bullying this guy.
who think other people are dirty old men are people who think they are not.
So
I think
you
we
turn
all
around and
share
say, well,
this.
you're a clean old man.
Well, we all share this preoccupation. Most of the subliminal material in advertising, I'm not in fine art, is preoccupied around the two polarities of human existence: the origin of life, procreation, reproduction.
I could
Don't you ever bring up my sister's pussy.
Cue ball sounds extremely Jewish.
Is he? I don't know. All I know is he could see a pecker from a mile away, Tay. What a skill.
Sex
What
and
can
death.
vulgarize sex.
Yeah.
And the other end, of course, is death, often self-destruction. We find a great deal of death material used in alcohol, beverage, and tobacco, and drug advertising. We'll see
I like
some
all
over
those
here,
things.
if you like.
Alcohol and tobacco is
This ad,
delightful.
actually, this is in one of the books, the last book.
Before you tell me, I want to.
All right, you're looking at about a $5 million investment.
Can you get in? Okay. And
in that.
there is something very suggestive in this.
here we go.
It's on the back cover of Playboy.
Okay, so there's something very suggestive in
Come on,
this.
Titties?
5 ice cubes in an empty glass. How could that conceivably be worth a corporate investment of some $5 million
Booby meat.
in operating capital?
Before you tell me, though, folks, take a close look at this. And before you tell me, there's something that's really.
Booby
Well,
meat.
our artist friends told us that there's about $25,000 worth of art production in this painting. It has nothing to do with ice
I
cubes.
see the
of course.
boobies.
It's a painting of 5 ice cubes, 6 ice cubes in an empty glass.
Tell me what this is.
All right. Well, there are some 15 faces screaming. You can look over here. I'm going to show these on slides, or some of them in a moment. Here's one of them, a bizarre, grotesque, screaming, surrealistic mask of some sort. The eyes, the open mouth, the nose.
I watched one where this guy found skulls all over a cigarette ad. It was really weird. I tried to find that video. I couldn't find it.
Here's a monster. You can see upside down. The 2 eyes, the mouth, the encircling arms. There's, as I say, about 15 of these images that have been painted into these ice cubes. Now, you put this on the back cover of a magazine with some 25 million readers, such as Playboy. It also appeared in Time. It was in Newsweek. It's been in every national magazine in the country over a period of 4 or 5 years. Let's go to the slides, and we have some of these
here we
details.
go.
Then we can go back to this.
Here it is. You can see it right behind us.
Yeah, here we go, the monster. Now, that's an incredibly
It's a pig
bizarre
monster.
thing to be putting into a nice ad for Johnny Walker Scott.
That's Life by Jen.
It says,
How do you
please
know
buy
that
our
wasn't
nice
though
Johnny
just
Walker.
a?
I don't want to be that guy, but I don't see it. I don't see a monster.
mistake. I mean, that the
kinda
painter was just
succeed.
painting
These
in a-
prices? Not a chance.
I know, but I mean,
Not a chance.
you know, you
You've
can
been
paint
in
some
media a
stuff
long
and,
time. You know how careful these guys. Every show that goes on the air, there are 5 guys from the ad agency sitting up in the control room making sure you don't misrepresent them. Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, jerk.
As I say, these are all in the book if you want to take a closer look at them in the Clam Plate Orgy book.
Yeah.
Here's that screaming surrealistic mask.
Oh, I kinda see
There's no
that.
way that could be an accident or a projection, which you suggested before, like the
Dang,
Rorschach
dude.
inkblot idea. Can we go to the next slide, please?
yeah, the ink
A
blot.
man's feet
Now-
and legs hanging in midair. He's a rather lonely man out there all by himself.
No, wait a minute.
Someone finally painted a picture of Tim.
Just sort of
man's
hanging
feet.
around, you might say.
Yeah.
See the feet?
the
legs?
shoes,
Yeah. Now, something like that could not conceivably be an accident. Somebody's putting that in there.
Jordan
And
Maxwell.
it's a thematic. Can we go to the next slide?
Yes.
I think the next one is the
Jordan
one that's
Maxwell's good
it's
times.
rather curious.
Can we get the next slide, John?
I don't know how many in the audience have ever seen a castrated male genital, but you're looking at one right now with
Oh,
a skull
no!
behind it, a very special one.
It's a severed pecker and an unhappy face. The guy's like, there's my pecker.
Now, the fact that a castrated genital could have something to do with the induction or the sales and marketing of alcoholic beverage, I find that absolutely fascinating. See, these are not people fooling around. They've got a great deal of money. The highest paid art talent in this country is
Painted by
hired to
Hanford.
do this kind of work.
How does this help? How does this help sell this scotch?
How it works, we don't know.
This guy figured out how to get paid by being a Peter Gazer. You know what I mean? The first paid Peter Gazer.
Because we simply don't know.
It works.
The fact that it works, yes. That's demonstrated. I've done copy testing for art agencies such as J. Walter Thompson, McCann Erickson, Lennon and Newell, Norman Craig.
Someone say
Some of
boobs?
the big
Booby
international
me.
houses. And they have to know, they absolutely have to know before they can spend $1 million on a particular ad that it works, i.e. it sells. Now that is ascertainable through an enormous industry of copy testing, ad testing, and so forth.
Have they
now
tested-
why it sells, you're up there, you're stuck with the various theories.
Have they tested, Doctor, taking 6 ice cubes and just placing them like this,
yes.
and taking a picture of it, and just
You can get a very good photograph of 6 ice cubes in a glass for about $75. This thing costs about $25,000.
but the ice cubes wouldn't sell like this one sells.
No, no. This ad was in use for almost 5 years.
Show me some more.
Yeah.
This is what's-
More examples?
Now, these are in the books. This was also in the Clam Plate Orgy book. The ad came out of the Family Circle magazine, and as you can see, it simply admonishes us to take advantage of a softie. Now, if you can get the camera in as tight as possible
Probably only works on dullard types. You know what I mean?
on the patio parquet. Now, remember, this is not parquet. It has nothing to do. You can see the softie protruding gently from the
Butter.
right side of the patio.
Or margarine.
See what I'm talking about?
Is that a
And
pecker?
of course, this ridge, there's only one place in nature you will find a ridge that looks like that one. It's very smooth, very deliberate, very purposeful. Of course, it's a coronal ridge on the glance. So you have kind of a glance within a glance, so to speak.
What?
And that sells parquet margarine. And you almost visualize those millions of American households.
What was that supposed to be? I didn't even catch that. Can I go back like a tiny bit?
Magazine, and as you can see, it simply admonishes us to take advantage of a softie.
Oh,
Now,
a
if you can
pecker.
get the camera in as tight as possible on the patio
softie.
parquet. Now, remember, this is not parquet. It has nothing to do. You can see
Oh, those are butt cheeks. wait. Where is it? Look. That's the pecker, and those are the butt cheeks. I get it now.
the softie protruding gently from the right side of the patty here. See what I'm talking about? And of course, this ridge, there's only one place in nature you will find a ridge that looks like that one. It's very smooth, very deliberate, very purposeful. Of course, it's a coronal ridge on the glance. So you have kind of a glance within a glance, so to speak. And that
likes
sells
peckers.
parquet margarine. And you almost visualize those millions of American
Great.
housewives.
You know what this is? He's trying to get us to watch about subliminal messages, but really he's mind fucking us to see peckers everywhere. I know every time I look at an ad now, I'm going to be like, is there a pecker in there?
Out there across the line,
He's mind
salivating over
fucking
their
us.
family circles, without the slightest idea consciously of what's turning them on. I'm
See,
being facetious.
the clue, Cave, is take advantage of a softie, and it's a little pecker.
But I don't really.
Pecker
Family were getting
it's
off
really
to
not very
parquet.
funny.
Right?
It's frightening, and I find it more dignified perhaps to laugh at this than to
well,
cry.
what else do you do? You know,
Yeah, what else do you do?
You know, if you're right.
You can't trust the family circle. Who's left?
Yeah, and parquet margin.
Yeah, and good housekeeping and things like that. And but here again, you're looking at several $1 million of invested corporate capital in publishing that ad. This ad appeared in newspapers.
This is not a picture of
it's a
parquet.
painting.
This is a painting.
It's a painting, and a very precise, exacting one. You see, advertising is actually, in an engineering sense, almost like building a bridge. These things, very little is left to chance. This one is in the book Media Sexploitation. It's a 2-page ad that some people may remember. Can you get the camera on that and just establish on what the ad is? It's a hockey game. There are 3 people on the ice, 2 players and a referee.
Where's the
now,
pecker?
I think in the book Media Sexploitation, I devoted a whole chapter to this particular ad. It's really complicated. But a little detail here. If we can get the camera in tight on this glove. Now, this hand does not belong to any of the bodies up here. It's a
ghost
right
hand.
This is a left-handed glove, by the way. This glove does not belong to the hand. The hand's a paste on. This whole thing is a composite piece of art, very expensive to do. There are 14 people in it. But this ad, on the back of the glove here, you have what is the international trademark, the trademark of Cooper International. Cooper Corporation makes the biggest hockey equipment manufacturer in the world. See Cooper up here.
It's a snatch.
Now that should say Cooper. If we can go to a slide, you can see very easily what it does say. It doesn't say Cooper, does it?
Was it cancer?
Yeah, precisely. Now, isn't it fascinating that you can sell
I don't see cancer.
cigarettes? Now, that ad in Look magazine would cost upwards of $150,000, a 2-page ad in the middle of the magazine.
Can we just see that look? I could totally understand.
Here. Now, that should say Cooper. If we can go... Doesn't say Cooper,
What's
does
this guy's
Was
face?
it cancer?
Yeah, precisely. Now, isn't it fascinating that you can sell cigarettes? Now, that ad in Look magazine...
Yeah, whatever you
cost,
say, dude.
$150,000, a 2-page ad in the middle of the magazine. And it also appeared in numerous other publications, that you can sell cigarettes with what has been called, since about the middle of the 16th century, the death wish. The notion was first expressed by Thomas Hobbes, a philosopher, in 1558. The notion that all of us carry around inside our heads a predisposition to self-destruct. Is more prominent in some people than in others.
I've got to break, but let me, have you taken a glove that said Cooper on it and tried to lean it like that and get a picture of it?
Actually, when we did the micro blow-ups of this, we could see the brushstrokes, how they actually did this thing. This was done by the Mary Wells Agency in New York, who had the Benson & Hedges as Philip Morris International.
I got
you.
I've got to break and let our advertisers talk to you a minute. It was very straight stuff, I think.
Yeah,
so
you'll love educational television.
Yes, educational
nice
television is just incredible. Let me say, we've
Cancers
got some
and
people
peckers.
who think that Dr. Key is
Won't titties sell anything? Can we get some titties up in here?
out of his tree. Also, he'll be joining us in a minute, and we'll continue this whole discussion, so please.
I was joking when I said there'd be peckers in it. I didn't know it would be all peckers.
There.
I thought maybe there'd be some naked bitches hidden in shit. Yeah. Get down. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm late.
Hurry up, you little prick.
Things going wrong can be a big
Nice
when
one,
you travel.
stupid. Get out of here.
That's why at American Airlines,
we spend over $1 million a day.
Why'd they leave the commercials in? I don't care. I'll look at some wacky commercials. There they go. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Dr. Martin of the Martin Chiropractic Center in
No,
do you suffer
you are
from
not a doctor, bro. You're a chiropractor. Let's not get crazy.
a back or neck problem and been told that you just have to live with it?
Air
Well,
pecker.
chiropractic may hold the key that finally brings you relief. And to help you find out, we offer an initial screening exam at no charge, including a procedure known as contour analysis. Call now for an appointment. The exam is free.
Just look for
And if
peckers.
care or x-rays are needed, most insurance plans cover chiropractic.
You are not
Remember,
a doctor, dude.
Unless you've tried
Hit the bricks.
chiropractic, not everything has been done. Call today.
Oh,
Mrs.
yeah.
Burns, your kids are up to their necks in suds.
Nice one. You're the worst
There
mom
are
ever.
suds hiding in those robes because you didn't use a detergent like Low Suds and Dash.
That's fine. I was going to drown them in the tub later.
Clean to me.
They may look clean, but they still have suds in them.
What a stupid place for a washing
They should be
machine.
as clean as this towel I just washed.
Dunk that in the sink and see.
Ew, suds.
Turds.
Ew.
And this looked so clean. Come on.
Worst
out of
mother
those robes.
ever.
I don't want my kids wearing sudsy clothes. What went wrong?
The wrong kind of detergent.
Huh.
Try Dash. Dash cleans with low suds,
Hey.
so both dirt and suds come out in the rinse.
We'll see.
I don't see suds.
This not only looks clean, it is clean. Now I can start believing my eyes again.
With Dash, what you see is
Pick Rob's gonna watch this commercial over and over again.
what you get.
Did you just make that up?
Well, get out hidden suds. Get Dash for clothes that actually are as clean as they look.
Get out of here. Oh yeah, you guys ready to get fucking hogued?
I'm with Dr. Wilson Brian Key. He's the author of Subliminal Seduction and The Clam Plate Orgy, which is a unique title in itself, and The Media Sexploitation, and many other things. And this
Easy,
man
bro.
is a PhD in communications, taught for years, was involved in advertising for a number of years, and is
I hope this guy is a karate suit.
convinced that a lot of things you're seeing in magazine, print, and also in television and movies.
Billboards, yellow pages. There was a curious thing on the cover of the Greater Miami area telephone book last winter. For a couple of weeks, I did almost nothing but talk to newspapermen from Miami. They had a watercolor painting on the cover of the phone book. This is Ma Bell, you know.
Oh, shit.
You don't fool around with Ma Bell.
That's right.
A picture of Isaac Stern standing there commemorating an art festival with his violin. And down in the painting where Mr. Stern's genitals would be, he had one. And I had lectured at a university there, and apparently some of the students got a hold of this and turned it over to the newspapers. And the last I heard, the Miami Bell had, Florida Bell had withdrawn 2 million of these Miami telephone books. Each one of them is about 4 inches thick. Can you imagine? Put
Was
the
that
covers
a
on.
purposeful thing? I mean, or was that an
Well,
accident?
they were descended upon by the moral majority.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
That would get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And of course, an ad
He's just humoring this dude.
agency did this, but clever artists. It was,
Do you think Marmel knew that was going to happen?
No, no, not at the corporate level. They would not have permitted it. It's too risky.
Well, I would think not. I mean, this is not
For someone like the Bell
a
Corporation.
sexy company. Yeah.
Yet I've shown in one of the books is an ad from the Bell Corporation from Bell. It was Bell, Bell Canada.
Are you
where they
using
use
your
these.
telephone directory? Is that the one?
I was surprised after that whole affair that I still have a telephone.
An unfortunate pecker.
I'm surprised too. But anyway, get back to this because this is so interesting. I want you to show us some more of these ads.
Okay, this one here is a simple ad for rum, and it appeared this was in use for 5 or 6 years. It's been in Life, Look, Time,
Says
U.S.
Playboy
News, and so forth.
72.
This was in Playboy, yeah. But it was around for a very, very long time. Now, again, you're looking at a painting, not at a photograph of a bottle.
Like
this bottle is painted. See, we can make things, the fantasy things, look more real than the real thing now. Notice these ice cubes, particularly up here. These ice cubes are quite different than this ice cube down here, which seems to be shaped almost like a skull. You have an eye socket, a nose socket, and the mouth with teeth in it here.
I see it.
Now, here again,
It's a monster.
Death, the expensive death, golden death, but nevertheless using this death idea, motif at the subliminal level to sell rum. Now, you could, if this were a thing done in an
Dude, if there was a snatch in this, that guy would not see it.
you could laugh
He's
at
looking
it.
for peckers.
But you're looking at over a $5 million corporate investment in the merchandising of a nationally famous rum brand. And I find that absolutely stunning. See, we've gone to the corporation. This is in the book Subliminal Seduction, by the way, if anyone wants to take a close-up look.
Why would liquor choose to advertise with a skull?
Okay, consciously, you might even join AA or something after, if you perceived it. At the subliminal level, we don't know except that it works, it sells. Now, I would argue, on the basis of theory, perhaps the most well-articulated theory in the field of psychology is this idea of the death wish. As I mentioned, going back to Thomas Hobbes, it was picked up centuries later by the people who were...
What he's trying to say is we're all suicidal retards.
Around the time of Sigmund Freud, and just a few years ago, before he died, Erich Fromm wrote a book called Human Self-Destructiveness, a very excellent book. If you've worked around a drug or an alcohol clinic, you're well aware of self-destruction. You see it every day, several times.
Guys, I don't know if you actually noticed this, but Hot Dog Cat is indeed just a big pecker. That's it. That's all Hot Dog Cat is. Thanks to this guy. Thanks to this dude, we figured it out. All right, Hot Dog Cat, get out of here. It's not about you, jerk. Yep. We've been
Once
staring
in
at a
while,
pecker
we meet
this
one
whole
of these,
time.
Patients who can talk about it. They realize they're in some kind of a compulsive trip to kill themselves, and often they do
suicide. You're saying, of course, liquor might be a suicide wish, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and also smoking. Certainly no one is smoking tobacco these days if they have any control. I was always intrigued by it. You remember the cigarette for the man who thinks for himself? I always thought that was fascinating. If the damn fool could think for himself, he'd have quit smoking 20 years ago. Who's
Hey,
keeping
fuck
him?
you. I might smoke, but I don't look for peckers all the time.
Something like $500 million a year helping people who smoke think for themselves about tobacco.
So they can smoke the way they want them to smoke.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
This is a curious one. This you're looking at over $10 million. This is interesting. This one came out about 1973, and it's still in use. Every month or so you'll see it. Now again, what you're looking at is not a broken bottle of Seagram's Crown Royal. It's a painting, and at least $25,000 worth of artwork, as close as we can tell. Now this painting, if we can get in tight on this, there's an angel up here in the glass. It's got wings and the arms, little halo.
What?
There's the
I don't see
long
that.
head and neck of a swan here.
Oh, I see that.
There are some 15 of these images, little faces over here. Perhaps I'm getting a shadow there. But in this frame here, you can see a rather somber-looking, ghostly face. And there's a little man, if we can turn this sideways for just a moment, with his arms up in the air here, screaming.
I see his head screaming.
As I said, there are 15 of those images. Well, one of the curious things about this particular ad is when you lay it on its side, and just for a moment, let me show something. This bottle is in the shape of a head. There's a, can you back the camera off a little bit? A nose here, that black, oh, that's fine. A little black nose, the top of the head going around, the back of the head, and down to the lower jaw. You can see this lower jaw, and the mouth is open. It is like a cartoon head.
Like it's a juggalo.
Extended lower jaw, the open mouth, little black nose, and so forth. Now, notice what this mouth has just bit off. This
a pecker
coming in out of the foreground. Can you get the camera in tighter on that mouth? You see how the jagged edge? Now, if you raise it up, you can see the rest of this going off. That's what has been bitten off. Now, I'm fascinated with this because look at the title on this. Richard, if you'd like to read the title.
Yeah, have you ever seen a grown man cry?
Right.
Oh!
Now, it would be funny, except you're looking at over $10 million of invested corporate capital by
Richard Hogue is dank, dude.
the Seagram's Corporation.
I don't know that I'm laughing because it's funny.
It's painful. It hurts.
It's a juggalo sucking a
Get
pecker.
you where you live, you might
I've got a break. We shall continue this.
Oh,
Got a
commercial
break.
time.
How do you say it, right? I will be back in a moment, all right? So don't go away.
So far, not one set of titties.
Look for the green at Tom Thumb
He's like,
page
it's a
and
living.
save. Now
Oh!
the 49-ounce size of Cheer detergent is only $1.89.
But I just bought Dash.
A budget buy special at Tom Thumb page.
Reverend Norman Vincent Peale.
I firmly believe that solutions to many of our problems today lie within ourselves. This belief can help you enrich your life, and it can be set
You hear
forth
that,
in
shook ya?
just 6 words. Expect a miracle. Make miracles happen.
Yes, miracles still happen even these days, as you'll see for yourself in this remarkable magazine called Guidepost.
There's a pecker in that
founded by
picture.
Dr. Peale 35 years ago. Month after month, Guidepost brings you true stories of today's miracles and shows how belief in miracles can help turn your life around, how faith can help solve perplexing problems, how to cope with fear, illness, loss of a loved one,
There's a
how to
pecker in
improve
every
your
single one of
marriage,
those pictures.
how to find true spiritual strength through faith. The inspiring stories and guideposts are from unknown people
Hey,
and
Mr.
well-known
Rogers.
people, all sharing their personal experiences with you, like Danny Thomas and the solemn vow he had to keep. Cheryl Pruitt, Miss America 1980, and the
Oh, what
miracle
a
behind
treat.
her healing miracle. Michael Learned, how her role as Olivia Walton taught her the power of prayer. Sal Bando, how he learned what to do when
Whatever the
nothing
fuck
was
that
right.
is.
David Crockett,
Whoa!
how he miraculously survived the Mount St. Helens eruption. Guideposts. America's inspirational nonprofit interfaith magazine carries no advertising.
I
Is
need
not sold
all
in
of them.
newsstands. This special subscription offer could be your one chance to join the 11 million readers of Guideposts around the world. Call toll-free now to receive 12 issues of Guideposts for just $5.95. That's less than 50 cents an issue. By ordering now, you'll also receive Dr. Norman Vincent Peale's How to Cope with 10 of Life's Toughest Problems. Proven methods to deal with difficulties like loneliness.
Don't mind me or anything.
It's yours free with your paid subscription to Guideposts.
Guideposts is a pecker?
The toll-free number to call is 1-800-543-8100. That's 1-800-543-8100.
Fuck you, faggot!
Hey, the Hoag's back.
And death are being used to sell you a whole bunch of stuff, and you may not even be
Don't let Hoag fool you. There's not more than 5 people in that studio.
aware of it. We'll get into great detail about all this as soon as we get back, so please stay there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Time to get hoaged.
Look for the green at Tom Thumb Page.
No, we've been through this.
Now the 49-ounce size of Cheer detergent is only $1.89. A budget buy special at Tom Thumb Page.
I want to get Cheer.
When in Dallas, guest of Richard Hoag weekday, stay at the luxurious Bradford Hotel.
Oh, the
Minutes away from
Bradford?
historical landmarks, the Bradford Hotel offers
I want to
the
get on this
business
show just so I could stay at the Bradford.
the convenience of a major convention center, the World Trade Center, the Dallas County Courthouse, and complimentary limousine service to your downtown destination.
Look at
Relax and
that.
entertain in the cozy atmosphere of the Hippopotamus Piano Lounge.
And you can
treat
smoke too. You can fucking chow down, get drunk, and
yourself
smoke.
to Norman's, our continental dining room. Specializing
You're
in
right.
Texas innkeeping at its personal best,
Dick
we're in a
Hoag.
class of our own, the Dallas Bradford Hotel.
Sign me up, dude.
Howdy, folks.
Fuck you.
Name's Phelps.
Got any fresh green beans?
Oh, they're kind of stringy this year. Oh, well. Hold on. Take Del Monte's.
But they're not as nutritious.
Oh, poppycock.
Get Del Monte. Look for the pecker on the can.
Del Monte's is nutritious as fresh cooked because they're picked and packed the same day.
All
No
packers.
artificial additives or preservatives. It's like fresh cooked vegetables in a can.
We'll take a bushel.
It can do.
Del Monte, quality vegetables, nutritious as fresh cooked.
If you ever see anyone buying a giant basket of green beans, you punch them right in the head.
No salt added.
They deserve to get their money stolen.
People are talking about TV 39's 8 is enough.
No.
Well, some of the situations are kind of real in that 8 is enough.
Look at that
You know,
hair.
You can kind of relate to them.
On the next 8 is enough.
I applied for a job here this morning as a copy boy.
Your son sprung a big story and you look like he just got arrested.
Look at all the peckers in this newspaper.
Find out why people are talking about 8 is enough. Tonight at 5 on TV 39.
All right.
TV 39 is
Yeah,
really enjoyable.
bring her back.
Watch Richard Rose. He's proving that epilepsy
She's
can be
climbing a
overcome
giant
today.
pecker.
Thanks to effective treatment, many
This is the
people
biggest
with
pecker I've ever
epilepsy,
seen.
like Richard, are achieving goals you never thought possible. Epilepsy, it's not what you think. Ask the people who know. Write Epilepsy Foundation of America, Washington, D.C. 20013.
Look, it's a pecker on that. The eye was a pecker. Hoag. There he is. There he is. Hoag's sleeping on the job again. Oh, I
The word
see.
is subliminal. I've been practicing it for days to try to go over to the show. All right, subliminal advertising. It means hidden things inside of pictures that you see that are trying to sell you various products. Dr. Key says that sex is involved, death is involved, and again they are using, advertisers are using these things to sell you products. Before I introduce these two other gentlemen with us who've joined us, I want you, Doctor, if you would, to go back
Now,
and
Hoag, I bet you don't even notice. But you only got hired for this job because your face looks like a scrotum.
take us through the clam plate.
Oh, yes, the clam
which
plate
is
actually a placemat from a Howard Johnson restaurant. We were so struck by this, at least the publisher was, that we titled the last book, The Clam Plate Orgy.
Yeah.
Now, if we get the
This
camera
is a placemat which is on the table.
It was in use for about 6 or 7 years.
dig
in
into
Howard
our
Johnson restaurants,
claim.
and 2,000 of them all over North America. They must have printed tens of millions of these. And the object of this, of course, is to sell fried clam plates. Now, what you're looking at is
Where's
a
the
painting
pecker?
again, a very ingenious, and I might add, a very expensive painting, an airbrush painting. If you compared these clams with the real thing, you'd find that clams don't look like this. Whatever these things are on the plate here, they're not clams. Can you get in tight on it? Now, if you notice the whole picture, the painting is around this center. There's a big dot in the center of the page right here.
A little black dot?
It's in the precise center of the elliptical shape of the plate. And notice I'll lay an overlay here for about 10 seconds over these figures of the clams. Can you get in there? Yeah, you can see
It's a clam plate orgy.
8 people and a large donkey. And this illustration is in the book, Clam Plate Orgy.
Dude, you need help. Where the fuck's the donkey?
So if you want to take a close-up look at the
donkey.
A sexual orgy
Oh, I
is
see
about
the
all I
donkey.
could come up with in defining. Now, once I take this away, you should be able to see the bodies and the shapes. You see the donkey. The dot in the center is the eye of the donkey, and the donkey's ear up here. It's an extraordinary piece of artwork. In another time or another century, this might have ended up in the Louvre or the Prado or the Galleria Borghese in Rome.
Who found that?
I
mean,
suppose
who
the
found that donkey
advertising
and all the people?
department. Well, we found it, actually. I found this in San Diego one night after a lecture. I had dinner with some students and started wondering why 4 of the 6 of us had found ourselves inexplicably ordering fried clam plates. And I loathe clams. I've hated clams since I was a small child. And after I ordered them, I got to thinking, you know, why did I do that? I really don't want to eat them.
The donkey got him. You cooped. The donkey convinced him to get the clams.
Yeah, and much more. I have no quarrel with the merchandising aspects of this, but there's a good deal of evidence to suggest that this kind of media could make such things as bestiality, group sex, the rest of what's going on in that picture seem quite rational.
Dr. Wilson,
This
you're crazy.
into a population as large as they did. You're talking about tens of millions of people of all ages and sexes who saw this placemat. And that material would be in your brain almost at the speed of light.
I understand. I want to introduce a couple other people. Dr. James Swartz has joined us, professor of advertising at Southern Methodist University, and Mr. Jim Goodnight.
Don't you see? There's peckers everywhere.
I've been drinking. I really don't care.
All right.
Who's the president of Goodnight
All right,
Consulting Group, and who's a columnist in Adweek, and this man places a lot of ads all across the country. Jim.
Boy, you really pulled in the big ones, didn't
I tried to get the best we could. Are you involved in subliminal advertising?
No.
In what you're doing?
No, and as a matter of fact, I'm afraid it's difficult not to be amused, as you have
Oh,
been.
no. Hoag's going to get a fight going.
I think by this, you know, the claims that Dr. Key makes are so absurd and so outrageous, and
I didn't know we'd
bizarre
have
was
this.
the word that the administration at the University of Western Ontario used when they fired him. You know,
They did not
because
fire me. I
his
beg your pardon.
they said
I resigned.
Easy, bro. Easy. You just say no. We don't do subliminal messages. You don't have to beat him up. Look at him. You hurt his feelings. Look, you hurt Dr. Wilson's feelings. Why? Why so mean? Look at him. He's sad.
And I think.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. You've been on for half an hour here.
But that is a pretty
I was paid
personal
$64,000 to resign. Now, there's a good deal of difference between that and being fired.
They had to get rid of the
Tax-free, I
man
might add.
because he would not teach psychology, and they said because he would only teach.
Jim, you know, you sound really suspect when you just tear into the guy like that.
Bizarre ideas on advertising. Well, they are bizarre. You can see that. As a matter of fact, in 20 years in the advertising business, the only time I've ever heard of subliminal advertising or had anybody talk about it, client, creative guy, agency management, is when we're in uproarious laughter over this man's books, or maybe sometimes some slight chuckles.
Jim, he's dead. Jim, you're killing him. poor Wilson.
It's so easy to take him lightly. This is part of the problem. We haven't really answered the man, and we've let him build a forum.
You haven't
The
answered
interesting
anything in
thing
this
is,
dissertation
you know,
for
it's
us,
so easy to say he's mistaken.
That's
He
harsh.
looks at clouds and sees shapes, or sees the man in the moon, something like that. And it's easy to say that he's a sicko. I mean, you could say that. I don't think that's true. But, I mean, here's a guy who sees sex written on Ritz crackers, who sees sex in Abraham Lincoln's beard. I mean, I urge everyone to read his books because I think if you really read the books instead of just listen to his lectures, you'll find, I think the same thing I do when I read his books. But he's not...
Wilson is going to get a wedgie any second, dude. Wilson is getting pummeled.
And the reason I say that is because I believe that the man is very purposefully poisoning the minds of college students and high school students for his own personal profit. He gets $2,000 to $3,000.
Those ads, and I didn't make any money out of doing it.
He gets $2,000 to $3,000 a lecture. He does 50 or so of them a year, and he's not going to accept any evidence that says he's wrong because it would kill his livelihood. There's a great deal of evidence.
Wait a minute. I have demonstrated some things here for the audience. Do you mean you did not see what I was pointing out?
No.
It's not there. I'm making it all up.
Yes, I think so.
Wilson, it was kind of vague. You know what I mean? I mean, some were all right. A lot of them were dumb, though.
I'm saying is,
I didn't see the donkey.
let me tell you, let me be very
I
clear
thought
about
I
what I'm
did,
saying.
but then he took the drawing away and it was gone.
I am not going to speak for the editors of Playboy magazine, and I'm not going to speak for war correspondents who you say are the media doctored war pictures by putting sex all over them. I'm going to speak for the advertising industry. Your claims that we purposely, on a daily basis, over and over again, do these things to ads is totally outrageous, false, and wrong.
Jim, let me ask you this.
He's pissed. Jim's going to end up throwing punches.
Come to you? You've been an advertiser for 20 years now, and you're placing millions of dollars worth of ads. Has any advertiser ever come to you and said, could we, is there any way to doctor up this ad and put some subliminal thoughts in this ad? Could we throw in a little sex or a little death? I mean, has anybody ever pushed it, or anyway even indicated that they might be interested in something like that?
Not once, never, in any way, never.
Have you ever talked?
All right, angry guy.
You ever talk to any, and I know you're a part, I mean, I know you have friends that are your peers across the country. Have you ever talked to any advertising head, I mean, who was really dealing with people, who had ever been approached by anybody about doing something like this?
Never once. It is absolutely ludicrous. Now, I will tell you that one time.
Oh, here we go. Here we Can we just enjoy this real quick? Finally. Now you're on the ropes, Jim. Now you're on the fucking ropes. He knows it. He's got you now. You just fell into the Wilson trap.
And we got a phone call from somebody who said, you have a lewd picture in your ad. So we ran to get the artwork and looked at it, and it was kind of questionable. But we decided, well, shoot, let's redo it just in case. Most of the people said the person who called was crazy. I kind of think maybe the artist did it as a dirty joke and tried to slip it by us, and got it by us, and it ran. But it was not intended. I think it was an artist trying to play a dirty joke. So what I'm saying is, if you look at 1 million ads or 100,000, I'm not going to say you're not going to see a dirty joke somewhere in an ad, which may be what happened to Bell Telephone. I don't know. But as far as advertisers purposely trying to use subliminal advertising to get you to buy things, that's just not true.
Dr. Schwartz, I'm trying to get you into this fray also, all right? So please jump in here now. In teaching advertising, which is what you do at SMU, do you talk about subliminal advertising? Is that something you discuss?
Yes, we do. Let me just say that having taught at 4 different universities, I've found that this is a very fashionable topic. It's a topic that students are increasingly interested in. And
stop, I can't do my tricks. I can't do my tricks if you guys are all paying attention.
Too am interested in it, but I have found very little credence, very little research to support
that it sells?
Dr. Key's findings. Well,
would you think it would sell? I mean, if indeed there is an orgy going on this clam plate here, this, what do you call this thing? Placemat. Is that going to sell? Do you think that would sell clams?
Well, I don't think that anything can be proven from what Dr. Key says. I think that's the point of contention. Having been familiar with the leading journals in the field of advertising and marketing, there have been no studies that I'm aware of in the last few years that have supported his findings. However,
I suggest some, Doctor, if you'd like. N.F. Dixon's book, published by McGraw-Hill in London in 1972, Subliminal Perception, compiled over 500 research studies supporting the validity of this as it affects human behavior.
Yeah, what now?
Well, I'm familiar with the leading journals in the field, such as the Journal of Advertising, the Journal of Marketing Research, Journal of Marketing, Journal of Advertising Research, and all the leading scholars in the field do not support the findings.
What, they do not think that it would work? Is that what you're saying? In other words, if the sex is there, if the death is there, that's not going to help sell the ad. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that subliminal cannot be proven or disproven.
I see.
Oh, I beg your pardon, I can indeed. Dr. Lloyd Silverman has been experimenting at the Veterans Administration Hospital. Dr. Silverman is a professor in the mental health department at NYU for about 15 years, working in psychotherapy as well as in, I'll call them drug abuse experiments, using subliminal induction as a therapeutic technique. Dr. Hal Becker, who's now retired from the Tulane Medical School, owns 2 patents on subliminal induction.
Schwartz is like, man, I wish I was at the, what was that hotel name? I wish I was back at that hotel in the bar.
Devices, mechanical or electronic devices.
Eating my orgy clams.
Things into your brain without your awareness.
The Bradford. I wish I was back at the Bradford.
At least 20 that I'm personally familiar with, scholars, a number of them in Texas, by the way, who are doing research in this, in terms of its application to various areas of psychopathology. This one experimenter at Commerce, University of East Texas at Commerce, was experimenting with these as an educational technique, working with people who have been classified as having learning disabilities, using these same techniques, which are so effective apparently in merchandise.
Schwartz is disgusted. It's not a happy man. It's like, why did I agree to this? That other guy was doing good by himself.
As a device of trying to turn into something good. So there's a good deal of published evidence on this, and I'm rather astonished that you're unfamiliar with it.
I don't think the issue is whether or not there's such a thing as subliminal perception, and that is proven. Dr. Paul Kohlers at University of Toronto has said you can, in fact, prove the basic phenomenon of subliminal perception. It's just that you can't use it to get people to buy anything. And advertisers do not spend their money on things that don't sell things.
Well, in the three books, I've demonstrated, I suppose there must be 50 or 60 advertisements.
Well, can I talk about a couple of those?
Let me break, because I want to get right into this. When we come back, I want to get into the book. And, Jim, I want to ask you some specific questions. For instance, you say about the Ritz cracker. I mean, there is a picture of a Ritz cracker in here, which I'll show you when I get back with sex. Come in real good and tight on here, camera 2. When we get back, we'll talk about this, all right? I want you to see this. This in Dr. Key's books, Media Sexploitation, and get right down at the bottom. Get it real close to this right here as you can. It says all over it, that's written all over that cracker, sex, 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 sex. Now, you say that that was placed there.
It was pretty probably in the mold.
Well, I want to tell you when we get back. When we get back, let's talk about it, and I want you to respond to this, Jim, and you too,
Shit's getting heated.
And we will do that as soon as we get back. So stay tuned for Sex on Ritz. We're coming, all right?
Oh, yeah. Classic HORK art. There's peckers in those paintings?
For $19.95.
What a deal!
Believe it.
This is a diamond, and there's nothing like it. The sparkle, the brilliance. Tell the truth. What woman wouldn't love to wear a diamond like this?
A $20 diamond.
Now, thanks to the famous Victoria collection
A guy gave me a diamond outside of the Sizzler.
Every woman can.
I married him right away.
$19.95. 1.17 faceted, full-cut, genuine diamonds in brilliant 14-karat gold electroplate settings of the eternal lover's knot. Almost unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, she gets
a
knotted.
real diamond like this for only $19.95. Well, believe it. In fact, each ring comes with a guarantee certifying that this is an authentic diamond. How do they do it?
I don't buy it.
The reason is simple. Volume. Thousands of satisfied customers all over the world keep the prices of the Victoria collection affordable for everyone. But there's more. In order to encourage you to become acquainted with the collection, when you order your genuine diamond ring, you'll receive this valuable bonus gift free. An elegant...
I can picture this guy just slamming her face into the pillow, and it's like, yeah, it only cost me $20.
14-karat gold electroplate chain. Join the thousands of satisfied customers who've already taken advantage of this incredible offer. Call this toll-free number now to place your order. The Victoria collection stands behind their quality and service with a money-back guarantee.
All right, lady, hit the bricks.
If you're not entirely delighted
Fuck you and
with
your cheap-ass diamonds.
Return
Out!
it within 10 days for a full refund.
Out!
In any case, the gold chain is your free gift to keep, just for trying the Victoria collection. Diamonds. Be the lady who wears them.
Or the man who gives them.
To order your diamond ring and free gold chain for only
I had more money for
$19.95,
meth.
Please have your ring size available and call now. 1-800-228-1234. That's 1-800-228-1234. This money-back guarantee is available now only through the Victoria collection. Remember, the gold chain is yours, free to keep, just for ordering. Call now. That's 1-800-228-1234. Visa, MasterCard,
How can I
and
remember
COD
that
orders
number?
accepted.
That's complicated. Get. Oh, yeah. Back to the HORK.
Goodness gracious, all sorts of stuff here, right? Jim, I sense that you're Jim Goodnight, who's the president of Goodnight Consulting Group and a major advertiser in our city.
Prestigious.
I sense you're a little bit hacked off about this and a little
yeah, really, Jim.
Almost
way to kill the mood
about this. For you're wanting to make sure that people know that you aren't here. Am I right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess I feel some guilt because we've let this guy get away with this for so long, and I don't think it's very funny anymore what he's doing on our college campuses. I really don't. I used to think it was funny, but I don't anymore. So yeah, I'm kind of hacked.
Oh, he's getting up to give him a fucking spinning pile driver.
Off about it. Yeah. I think he's.
Do you think he's?
Let me tell you something.
Degraded your profession?
No, I think he hasn't yet, but I don't want him to. I think he's like the guy that debates the empty chair and the chair wins. I mean, I really probably should have just let him continue talking. I mean, the thing we were talking about, he's talked about in his books.
He just got nailed, dude.
2 of his key case histories in his first book have been shown by psychological journals in the country to be absolute hoaxes that he didn't perpetuate, but that the people that he is quoting perpetuated. The Subliminal movie test where popcorn sales and Coke sales supposedly went up was shown to be an absolute hoax. And yet he, 15 years later, opens his book with that as proof of subliminal advertising working.
That's one proof of many. That was
Gin ad that he jumps up and down about the ice cubes. The Toronto Star got a panel of photographic experts that looked at the original negative of that ad and found that there was absolutely no overpainting as he claims. And he knows that, and yet here he is, 10 years later.
This guy just don't give a fuck.
You're saying that it was an actual photograph, and it's just a photograph, and they didn't touch it up at all.
That's right.
It was
not what he said.
It wasn't a photograph. It was a photograph. Gilby's gin ad.
You see, what you got is the man who's making a living out of attacking my industry. And there's no basis in fact to what he says. Absolutely none.
Man.
And that does kind of rankle you.
Now I know why we call this guy Goodnight. You know what I mean?
The sex on the Ritz.
Well, he wrote the sex on the Ritz. Now, the sex, there is not written that way. I mean, that's his enhancement of the picture above. Look at the picture above and tell me if you see sex. That's where Dr. Key somehow says he sees sex. I think he just is saying he sees it in order to make a few bucks.
A lot of other people see it too.
Well, they do now, I'm sure.
On the Ritz cracker, if you had a box in the house, you might look at the pictures of the crackers on the box. Now, you're looking at an airbrush painting. You're not looking at a photograph of a cracker. And in the airbrush painting on the box, you can see the SEXs much more easily than you can on the cracker. Once you find them on the picture on the box, then try to find them on the cracker. And you probably will find them. There are some people who have trouble perceiving this kind of thing. But it's intriguing. It actually, according to the theory, would make the crackers...
You know, Goodnight came home to his wife and it's like, yeah, and then I told him he would lose a debate to an empty chair. That's nice. Let's go to bed.
To have sex written on
sure.
it? Sure.
What we call sex, reproductive behavior, is the strongest believed drive in the human psyche. It's enormously powerful. We're extremely sensitized towards anything to do with our reproduction. And if you were the president of Nabisco,
Goodnight doesn't give a fuck.
And you knew about this, you'd have to do it as performing a corporate responsibility to your shareholders. This is not against the law. Perhaps it should be. It's certainly immoral, grossly immoral by all the rules of the advertising
that I would feel personally that I would have to do that to be honest with my shareholders and do the best that I could. I mean, I would think that we could make a cracker that was good and get good advertising about it,
but not sell them for what they sell Ritz for. That's a very high profit margin product.
Who doesn't love Ritz?
Well, one thing that I noted in the first segment, we were sitting out in the audience. When Dr. Key said that there was a death mask in one of the ice cubes,
Goodnight is smiling because he's remembering all the times that the ads came through and he said, hey, let's add some dicks. Goodnight's just having a good time.
A butterfly, so I guess I'd go back to the Rorschach ink blot kind of thing. You see what you want to see. If you're thinking about sex, you're going to see something that has to do with sex, and if you're thinking about something else, I think you're going to project something else.
Do you think he's a dirty old man who just sees this stuff and is just wrong?
No, I want to be a little bit even-handed about this. I frankly see Dr. Key as having a value from my perspective. I think that Dr. Key's books have raised a lot of questions. A lot of my students at Southern Methodist University.
Fence sitting Schwartz. Pussy.
Pennsylvania State University before that, and 2 universities before that, all were intrigued by his books. And I think that that's the whole educational process, is to get people asking questions and becoming a little bit more
demon vibes are showing
with such
through,
things
dude.
as psychology and advertising. So I think that Dr. Key is not insane. He's not an idiot. I don't see a lot of value or a lot of support research-wise in his studies, but yet I think there's a lot of heuristic value. It does raise a lot of questions.
Dude, Good Night's going to beat all you guys up.
And we need to be critical consumers in the field of advertising. So for that reason, I think there is a value.
Jim, who monitors advertising? Do you all have a self-monitoring group or board or something? I mean, for instance, if someone saw, where is that?
This is the incident we were talking about earlier.
That's the one.
They really are.
If someone saw this, would you... I mean, would you say, hey, that's in bad taste or whatever, and say that can't be used? Or
bad cop and tender fellas, right?
Yes, there are monitoring people. There's a National Advertising Review Board. There's a Federal Trade Commission, which one official, and of course they're no friend of the advertising industry necessarily, said that they put subliminal advertising in the same category as flying saucers. Some people may claim to see them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're there.
No, flying saucers are real. And they like to hang out by trees for some reason.
And the greatest evaluator is the consumer, and that's the person we think about day in and day out. All of the things.
I see all the
legal implications of this. Yale Law School, at the request of Senator Wendell Anderson of Minnesota, did a research study several years ago titled Subliminal Stimuli in American Broadcast Media. It's about a 37-page document, extremely well footnoted. And it was the conclusion of the Yale Law School people, this was allegedly a study done for the Senate, U.S. Senate, that these things are very clearly violations of Section 5, the Wheeler-Lee Amendment to the Federal Trade Commission Act. Now this this section has, since about 1938, attempted to define deceptive advertising. Now by all of the this would have to be determined, of course, in federal court, but by all of the criteria, the Section 5 has been upheld in several cases by the Supreme Court. This would appear to be grossly, by, as I say, the Supreme Court definition, clearly a violation of federal law.
Oh, no question about it. I think
the Federal Trade Commission, especially nowadays,
it's just not used.
You feel like it would be, if it were used, it would be absolutely wrong.
That's right.
Now, there's a difference though between...
He's going to go home and say, I'm going to double dick these now.
We've got a break, but let me ask one question, then we'll go, okay? So, not go, but leave for a second. There's a difference between sexy advertising and
rum, crackers, and peckers.
What you would refer to as sexy advertising
and clams.
is irrelevant, really, because you can't
Don't forget
remember.
Clams.
The average person is believed in the United States today to perceive something on the order of 1,100 advertising messages daily. There is no way you can remember more than maybe 1 or 2 of those, if that. Now, from what you consciously remember, advertising would appear to be a gross waste of the investor's money.
But you're not talking about...
Because nobody remembers.
You're not talking about taking a picture of a beautiful, endowed young woman and highlighting it a little bit.
For a few seconds, perhaps, but
yeah, but that's not subliminal.
It has no behavioral significance.
See, no one cares about titties. It's about peckers, according to Wilson.
I've got a break. I'll be back.
When he said well-endowed woman, he just meant a woman with a giant penis. How come you don't just put a woman with a giant penis? Oh, more commercials, guys. Oh, they skipped them this time. Straight to the HORK. Back to commercials. They teased us with bonus HORK.
It's not often that you can find a career in selling a product that you use and believe in, but such a career is possible, fitting and selling my marvelous product.
Oh yeah, model them for us, you old baby.
I'm Penny Rich, and I need more women to help market my newest, most comfortable and healthful design. All I require from you is a small investment and a commitment of hard work.
You ain't getting nothing from me, you old bag of shit.
I'll provide you with training, sales leads, and back you
with a national rickety old bones off my screen.
Program.
Gosh
darn
it. For
more information, please call.
How dare you. Get.
Ever since Grandmother Baird started baking, people have enjoyed Mrs. Baird's white bread. But did you know we also made a great tasting wheat bread?
You're not Grandma, dude. You don't make good bread.
I think you'll like Mrs. Baird's wheat bread. It has a taste and a texture that's just right for sandwiches, toast, or all by itself. And white or wheat, Mrs. Baird's bread always means freshness and flavor. And that's a promise from the Baird family.
Yeah, well, if you're lying about that, I'll come see you. Oh shit, the Air Force.
The Air Force experience. Be part of it.
Yeah. Chair Force, am I right, guys?
Aim high. Air Force.
Pecker bread and pecker loaf?
Kellner has bypassed the safety stabilization circuits. If the TARDIS
Nice
is no
one,
longer
idiot.
on Gallifrey in the present, nor in flight through time or space,
whoa!
Then where and when is it?
Doctor! Doctor! Get Rhoda! Get Rhoda!
Well, this is dramatic shit, guys. Doctor Who. Boo earns. Next.
Look for the green at Tom.
No, not this again. We see this like 3 times.
The 49-ounce size of Cheer detergent is only $1.89. A budget buy special at Tom Thumb Page.
Make the point that there are a couple of areas that I think that I kept saying about research supporting Subliminal. I think there are a couple of areas that I wanted to make a point of that have been heavily supported, and I think that Dr. Key is familiar with these areas. One would be pupil direction. For example, when someone's driving along the highway, where the pupils will focus on a billboard will have a lot of value in determining the value of the advertising. Pupil dilation, salivation, perspiration, heartbeat, these kind of psychological determinants are helpful to researchers, and those are some of the things that I would be looking for.
How would you determine where the eyes would focus on a billboard?
Dr. Key, I think, probably can answer this as well as me.
Pupilometer, I believe they're manufactured in Japan now. It began with the Mackworth camera, which was developed in England. And the camera photographs the retina of the eye and tracks the movements of the eye, which are completely compulsive. The artist controls them, but we can't. It's
fancy.
And tells you how long this stays. The thing moves very, very rapidly. And there are devices such as electroencephalographs to chart the brain response to these kinds of stimuli.
Well, what did they find?
These are used continuously to testing advertising. As if you're going to launch something that's going to cost $5 or $10 million, you have to use this equipment before you make the investment to make sure that there's a fairly good probability you will succeed. And as I say, 1984, remember, is only about, 14 months away now. And that's the year we get to vote.
If I was a
for
big
president.
company back then, I would just copy someone else's advertising. Screw paying that millions of dollars. Yeah, just put a rum bottle on there. We sell shoes. Put a rum bottle on there.
Dr.
Copy
McLuhan made a
this.
comment one
Do
night
what
that
this guy did.
1984 really seems to have occurred somewhere back around 1930. We just didn't notice. Pretty much as George Orwell predicted it would come about.
I don't know what we've solved today, but we've certainly raised a lot of questions, haven't we? All right, and I thank all 3 of you for being here. Jim,
We got hogged the fuck
Dr.
out.
Thank you, Dr. Key, and thank you most of all for watching us. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Later, Hogue. I'm going to the Bradford. I want to see more examples. Yeah! What a jam! I see peckers. Not one set of titties, punk rock. What, titties don't sell shit?
Stay tuned for Midday Edition News coming up next.
We got news? Goodnight was a pissed off little guy. He couldn't have fun with it. They basically said, hey Wilson, remember that time you shit yourself? Richard Hogue! Weekdays. 1982, guys.
People are talking about TV 39's Little House.
It's a family show, and you can watch it with your children.
It's a family show.
Tonight on Little House.
Hemorrhaging, bleeding into the abdominal cavity. I'll have to go in and try to drain it off.
I've got to worry about this. We'll skip that.
Vision problems
It's Bob
such
Hope.
as nearsightedness and should be checked.
Where's this glowing
To
red
avoid eye
eyeballs?
strain or fatigue,
The TV should be viewed from about 6 feet. Proper lighting in the room is also important. Bright lights tend to wash out the picture and may cause a glare on the screen. A soft overall lighting makes viewing easier.
Whatever,
But
Bob.
the most essential eye care for the entire family is a regular examination by a professional. It can be most important in preventing and correcting vision problems. I know
Yes,
because
Michael
a checkup
Landon
at the
did in
right
fact
time
die of
saved my
AIDS.
sight.
So did
Don't
Bob
take
Hope.
your eyes for granted.
So did
They
Richard
keep the
Hope.
pictures you really want to see in perfect focus. A public service message of the
To
Better
mind
Vision
rape
Institute.
on Little House was the worst.
Edwin Wilson, former CIA
Oh.
agent, is returning to Houston for sentencing in his second smuggling conviction. American
at that
Airlines
hair.
may be shut down by a strike at midnight, and Houston oiler Greg Stemrick has pleaded innocent
Not
to
Greg
charges
Stemrick.
of possession of cocaine. At 11:30,
Old
it's 54
Stemrick.
degrees. I'm Constance Dean.
Tonight on Doctor Who, the Doctor is branded a traitor when he joins alien invaders.
Oh, shit.
Tonight at 10 on KXT.
I'm just letting this video roll. I don't know what. I thought the whole video was this thing. That's why I picked it.
Friday, February 11th. These are our top stories.
Shit.
One of the most controversial figures in the history of Israel, Defense
Hanford?
Minister Ariel Sharon, has resigned. We'll have reports
See ya,
from
jerk.
Jerusalem and Washington.
Hit the bricks.
The Rolling Stones. Jeffrey Lyons reviews their rockin' new
Rolling
concert
Stones.
film. And the superlative
That's when they were only kind of old.
Billy Eckstein, Mr. B, The Life and Times.
What now is the rest just blue? Is the rest of it just blue? Oh, guys, we got all the blue goodness. Watching some like 1972 porn on here. Damn it! I want more subliminal advertising. What a weird tape. That does suck. Wait, we'll find something. We'll pad this out a little bit. Don't you worry yourself. I'm worried. It's all right. We'll pad it out with some subliminal advertising examples. Let me see if I could. Damn it. I didn't know this was going to happen. Damn it. Stupid blue screen. Stupid Hogue. I bet Hogue put that tape out himself. See, the YouTube search doesn't work anymore. Yeah, Hogue really fucked it up, dude. Hogue really fucked up. Oh, this stupid one. Here. This guy doesn't talk, does he? Please don't talk.
And
oh, get the fuck out of here, dude. Of course. Of course, they always gotta talk. Remember in the old days, people would just put up shit? I don't know. I don't know if I can find anything on the fly now.
The following program is a UWTV classic.
What the hell is this? It's a show. Oh, okay. This show stuff. I don't know if this is good, guys. All right?
Claim subliminal audio messages can actually change behavior.
Greenwald is a professor of
That's a handsome woman. I think Hogue got a haircut.
psychology at the University of Washington. And welcome to Upon Reflection.
Hello.
Let's start by defining some terms of what is the unconscious? What do we know about it?
The unconscious is something that psychologists disagree on the meaning, but
that's a cool
more or less
too.
it means what we're not aware of. And we know that the mind does a lot that is outside of attention or awareness, so unconscious is, Freud called it the
It sucks. YouTube fucking banned all the good conspiracy channels.
90% or so of the iceberg that was submerged, and that may not be a bad estimate of the percentage of how much is done without our being aware of it.
So you have this idea that the unconscious is this kind of
Like,
murky
retarded.
area that it's sort of passive in a way as far as we're concerned. It's just sitting there taking things in or rejecting them, as
She's
the
going
case
to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
maybe.
It's sitting there doing a lot of work, but a lot of simple work. For example, right now, I don't expect to be run over by an automobile coming from that direction right now.
And that's the last words he ever said.
But if something started coming rapidly at me from that direction, even though I wasn't attending to it consciously, I would be processing it unconsciously. My attention would be drawn over there, and that's working for me. That's simple work, scanning the environment. It's like a distant early warning system.
What percentage, is there a way to break down at
That's
any
a
given
dude.
moment when our mind is at work, what percentage is conscious and
Yeah.
what percentage is not?
I think this has examples,
That would
guys.
just be guesswork. We do not really have techniques that sort of budget mental activity to the conscious and unconscious domains.
People with brown suits are weird. Like, why would you ever get a brown suit? Yeah, I want the brown one. Just seems weird.
But it's an interesting question just in terms of a sort of ballpark answer. And a lot of psychologists believe nowadays that the great majority of information processing, processing
punk rock.
stimuli from the environment, sounds,
Stop
sights,
the
everything,
insanity.
is
I remember
done
that bitch.
unconsciously. And the conscious is the top level, which is only brought into play for the really important things that require action at the
Yeah, but
moment.
it needs the corduroy arm patches or
You
elbow
think of
patches.
how busy our environment
You have a
is,
nice brown
how many
suit.
messages there are, how
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it looks good on you. We're talking about this guy.
much is going on, and we really can only pay attention. I mean, common sense would tell you that you can only really pay attention and be conscious of a very small fraction of what's actually happening.
Right. Well, if we can
Can't you
use an
short?
analogy, coming over the television airwaves or the cable wire or whatever are many stations, many sources of information. We focus on one at a time because the tuner of our TV set will only pick up one at a time. But the way our mind functions as if we were monitoring all of them. So it might be as if we were looking at a TV screen that had all the channels on it simultaneously in separate pieces of the screen, separate channels, and whatever drew our attention, we could sort of blow up and make command the whole screen and focus on it, and that would be the conscious attention.
Now, in advertising,
The Casio shaped like a guitar.
these subliminal messages have been used deliberately, and we have a number of examples that we're going to take a look at now.
Oh, here we go.
Where some message is being sent, we may not even know it was there because a lot of
Oh,
these
you
images
see
that
that?
we're going to look at have been seen quite often, and here we have Pepsi.
Okay. We've got a series of images here, and I picked them out.
I remember those cans. I remember those stupid cans.
To illustrate a number of points. This one
There's a lady covering her snatch behind those cans.
Well, when we're talking about advertising, what we mean by subliminal means various things. And this, most people mean by subliminal something that is just very briefly
Partisan, you better get consent first.
on or very dim. The examples we're going to be looking at are ones that we can see clearly, and they're subliminal in another sense, which is that they're not at the focus of our attention, so they might be processed unconsciously. Now, this particular example comes from a can design that Pepsi used a few years ago, and I don't know how easy it is to see on the screen, but you can see that when these cans are rotated properly and stacked in a certain way, one can see the letters SEX in the toucans on the right side.
That's a big subliminal message, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sex shows up a lot.
Well,
yeah. What now? Good night, you fucker. You lying fuck.
I don't think that it actually appears that often, and when it does, and in this way, it becomes.
It's true. You know how many bitches came up, started feeling my Johnson when I had a bottle of Pepsi.
I think this appeared in Time
happens
magazine
all the time.
or somewhere. I mean, it's not that no one knows about it. It sort of creates a big
Maybe it's just
stir.
the catchiest.
And I don't think that this kind of use of subliminals, namely the word sex appearing in advertising, is at all very frequent. But I picked this one as a sort of cute illustration, and who knows what effect it has.
Is that supposed to make us buy that product? Is that
Well, there's a theory that has not been confirmed
Salem.
by research that it could have some effect. I'd have to say most honestly, we really don't know. I'm being cautious. Now, here we have another case. Unlike the Pepsi cans that we were looking at before, and we could really see the letters SEX, this one is one for which people may disagree as to whether the letters are there. But if you look at the red ribbons on the tree, they and their surround could look like the script SEX. Now, this makes it more obvious, but we'll have to say that there's been airbrushed onto this.
That might be a stretch, little guy.
Slide white dashes that outline the letters, so viewers can see
I haven't
where
seen
they
Salem's
are.
in forever
And
either.
those white dashes weren't in the bigger one
a
that
not
we
so
saw
subliminal
before.
underlining of the message?
So I started with this because I think it's the popular view of what subliminal advertising
What are we looking
is.
at?
The word sex on Ritz crackers or in ice cubes or whatever.
Now, this is a popular film poster.
This is something else. This different type of thing. Here's a sort of very nice graphic work, which is a poster for the movie Silence of the Lambs.
Can you believe
and you
it?
see that B in the lower left. Now, from that,
B? Where?
it's worked into the model's mouth, so it just looks like a very interesting graphic thing. But when we go close up in that, we see something else, and what we'll see is something that would be visible to someone who is looking at this poster.
Yeah, but that's not subliminal. Everyone knew that the skull was there.
And looking at it closely, but you'd really have to focus.
Everyone
on
knew
it.
that was
Now,
there.
Here we're close up on the bee, and on the back of the bee is something that's very clearly a skull.
That's not a
There's
bee.
no doubt about that. And what viewers may not be able to.
I thought he was talking about the letter B because there was no B there. What the fuck are you talking about?
Is that this skull is actually composed of 3 or 4 human figures that appear to be nude. Can you see that, Marcia? No, it may not come across that way.
Oh, I see. There's the two fucking.
Well, the eye.
There's the 2 shit shooters in the feet.
The eyes in this skull are backs of heads, and the bones that look like they're coming down from those eyes are the torsos.
This is like a Rorschach.
Right,
test.
exactly. I think I'm not making this up. I think this is a very nice piece
everyone
of
knew about that.
graphics. I regard this more as a work of art than something that has psychological stature. I think you have to be cued in on this and be looking at it and attending it to pick up the fact that it is a skull and there are humans there. And I doubt that it has any great impact unless you actually notice that. But it's another example of what's sometimes meant by subliminal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is sort of continuing the buried head theme in the image. This is a jewelry advertisement, and we're looking at it from in a full shot now. And in the sort of top center, there's one piece of jewelry that's a ring that appears. This was a cover of a catalog. And if we take what you're going to see next is a close-up of that with an inset that wasn't actually in the ad. But the inset is there so that you'll see that small piece of jewelry that was near the top center actually has been airbrushed and doctored by the artist to contain what looks like a sort of vampire's head with,
I'm spooked.
Just like the one next to it.
Let me ask you, now here is this picture with daisies, and it's very, springy and all. Why would
Where are
they
you now,
do
good
that?
night?
What is the purpose of putting that message in what seems to be a very contradictory context?
it's conceivable that this image, as part of that larger cover shot, had some subtle value of triggering an association. And why associate jewelry?
Yeah, but that jewel doesn't have a pecker growing out of it.
With this evil? Well, maybe the vampire is regarded as seductive in me, so maybe it's an association
it's sexy again.
with seductiveness. But this, again, I put more in the category of art than psychology. It's sort of interesting to look at as an example more of what the popular conception is of subliminal than
what's going
what
on here?
we actually know to work. Now, here's another one that even more directly than the last one raises the question of why is this here? This is an ad for clothing, and from this full view, you may be able to see in the tree at the back of one of the models something that looks like 2 eyes and a nose, sort of a head, maybe an animal head. If we look at that closer, we see that that actually looks like a wolf's head there. And
that's a good one.
One might say,
it's
well,
an alien.
maybe
That's right,
that
shook you.
tree trunk just happened to look like that. But almost certainly this is absolutely no accident. I mean, it isn't a natural shape. The people who do this kind of commercial work are very conscious of all the details. So this was, I'm virtually positive, put there deliberately. So back to your question, why? Why would this be put there deliberately? And
it's awesome,
my answer
dude.
is, I haven't the faintest clue. Why? Because I don't think this is an image or produces any associations that could possibly sell those genes.
It's a
Maybe
face
other
in the
people
background.
have theories about it, but those theories haven't been confirmed. Now, here we have something else that, and this is the only shot of this one.
I think an artist would throw some wacky shit in there just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? I could see an artist doing that. Imagine you do 1 million art pieces a day, you're bored. You're like, yeah, let me throw something. I could see that happening.
This is, I think it's a clothing ad. And you'll notice in the background is this very vague shape that we could probably guess is a sort of an evil-looking head. Might
He's a spooky
be
dude.
An animal, might be a skull or something like that. It's sinister, and the way the whole ad is photographed with this male model half in.
You don't see it? You don't see this is the head. Here's the eyeball going down. There's the mouth. There's the chin. It's a spooky monster.
In the dark suggests darkness and sinister. It's actually on his left side, the sinistral side. Oh, we do have a close-up of it.
Nice.
Looks like a bear to me.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of animal and a menacing animal. So I think, now here's one where I think that something actually is going on that may work towards selling the product. I think this advertiser was deliberately trying to associate this male power sinister idea, and so this is power.
The lipstick is supposed to be a pecker too.
Clothing, and that
This
sort of unattended message may have captured that.
We're looking now at is it a perfume ad?
This
Makeup?
is a perfume ad, and again, this is, to me, a very interesting one, because now, just like the last ad, the clothing ad, this one I think gets into a domain where those things that are off in the periphery may actually be having some effect on the person, because the association they trigger can help to sell the product. Now, you certainly can't from this distance tell what's there, but if you look at a close-up like this, you see that on the walls of the buildings in the background, and you really have to look close to see these, are a few words. One of them is fresh. And
bunghole is
the other one I think that we have is the word soft, yes, in that one, in blue script in the lower part of it. And in this particular image, there were several other words buried on different buildings. These are...
I've been drinking.
You can
I really
see
don't
these
care.
if you look all over the surface of this ad. They're in plain sight. But the typical person who's going by them rapidly, looking through a magazine, would not dwell on them. And nevertheless, the eyes would pass over them, and without, at the periphery, like these channels we're not attending, and they could register their association value. And in this case, the association, soft and fresh, and a few other things.
Soft booby meat.
Are probably effective in capturing an image about the perfume. Here's our last image.
A controversial character in and of his own self.
Yeah, actually, people might think we're looking at this for this cool camel character who's
that camel's weird looking, dude.
Been regarded as a rather objectionable and perhaps phallic image. And I won't get into that aspect of it because there's some other interesting things going on in this ad.
What's phallic?
At the periphery of our attention. I mean, our attention is sort of focused on that character. But look what's happening off on the side of the things we're not paying much attention to.
It's like war is being waged in the Persian Gulf.
Well,
No, because Joe Camel is a jet fighter. He's a war hero, you dumb bitch. Of course they're going to have that shit in the background.
He's wearing the Tom Cruise sunglasses from Top Gun, and we have a plane taking off from the carrier deck.
And so the ubiquitous woman leaning in one side of the picture.
So this is capturing the idea of the hero of that movie, Top Gun. And it's not at all blatant. It's very subtle. But
no, it's pretty blatant, dude. Look, he's got the fucking jet fighter suit on. He's a badass.
I think it's the kind of thing that can register outside of attention.
It's interesting looking at that.
That was a
at
dumb
that last one, the camel. I never would have noticed any. It just goes right by. Tell me where those slides came from.
Very glad to have been able to get these from Stacy Green, who is a collector of graphic subliminal materials like this, who lives in the Seattle area and lectures in this area. And what he's done, he has a much...
That was all the examples. Those wasn't very good examples. Let me see if I can find one short one. What's this one?
This is an awareness test.
Oh, an awareness test, guys. You ready?
How many passes does the team in white make?
What is this? This is the Great Deception. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to do a little finagling. Because we're back to widescreen.
Go!
The Great Deception, subliminal messaging.
The answer is 13.
Huh?
But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Yeah, we all saw them. Did anyone not see him? That's not that subliminal. Oh shit. Oh shit, guys. I'm spooked. Alright, come on, dude. You're not deep. Get to the examples. Alright, what's... Oh, come on, dude. This is lame. What, a shoe booty? It's a shoe booty. Get out of here, you little shit! That one's pretty blatant. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That don't look good. It looks like Hammy's fucking surgery scar. Rockin' fries. Come on. Everyone knows what that one is. Whoa, it'll blow your mind away. Get peckered, bitch. Butt cheeks. I knew it. Oh, a naked bitch on her side. Oh, wait. Yeah, on her side. That's the weirdest ass I ever done see. Oh, get out of here. Babes. You see it, guys? Seahawks. That looks like an asshole. I don't know what that one is. Oh, sex. Oh, it's a comedy. That's a pecker. So many peckers. That's a pecker. Another pecker. So many peckers. Chills. That's a tongue looking a pecker. Come on. That's the best one. Now that's class. Oh, that's something made. Or someone made. Money sex change. Mega fucks is not subliminal advertising. It's just mega fucks. Oh, grabbing some burger titties. Oh, that's a bad one. Alright, wait. These ones you always gotta study. Come here, hot dog cat. This bitch is taking it to the cheeks. This bitch is getting her titties touched by this dude. He's grabbing this bitch's snatch. This bitch is sucking this guy's pecker. This bitch is doing that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, I saw that she was chugging the bottle. Alright, dude. Back to the examples. Guy's showing a wiener. But it's not a wiener. Oh, titties. But it's not titties. Look, everyone's seen this one. More titties? Not titties. It was a sheep. Oh, shut up, dude. Who couldn't notice that? You're not lifting the veil, bro. My Little Mermaid pecker. What? What the fuck's that supposed to be? Wait. Oh, a Theox. More Theox? He's got danglers.
Come on, good. Can you just take off?
Oh.
Come on, good. Can you just take off?
He's got balls. Pixelated titties in the background. Everyone's seen that one. Oh, come on. Oh, that can't be a real shirt. That can't be a real shirt. Oh, sales! Wait, what was that one? Oh. I don't know about that. That seems a bit of a stretch. Put your snatch away, lady. Oh, that's not good. Oh, Spider-Man. Punisher. How dare you? Pokey Puss. Oh, come on. That was the point. It was supposed to be funny. They always did shit like that. That's pretty gross, though. All right. Well, I got fucked this. Hanford, get the lights. Hanford, lights. Thank you, Hanford. All right, guys. I got fucked by that first video because it was 30 minutes of blank blue screen, but we learned a lot. We learned that Jim Goodnight is not one to be fucked with. And we learned that Schwartz was a fence-sitting douchebag. And Richard Hogue is a cool dude. And, of course, that Bradford is the nicest hotel in Texas. So many good things. And that bread, that Grandma Baird's bread or whatever was really dank. But, all right, guys. Hey, I'll see you this Friday or something. Bye, everybody. Hey, I see a pecker over there.
Where'd you think he's flying to? Maybe he has a family too.
Shut up, kids. I'm looking for peckers. Bye, everybody.